positive employee experience in your organization. Now, let's have a quick look at what we have in store for you at today's webinar. After this, we'll do a quick housekeeping, and we will kick off the program with the opening keynote by a Lenovo senior representative, followed with a presentation by Lenovo services. Then there will be a discussion session where a panel of subject matter experts who will also be addressing your questions, if any. And stay with us to the end, and there will be a short survey. We will be rewarding each survey completion with a 10 ringgit GrabFood voucher. So stay with us to the end, and you'll be stand a chance to get a 10 ringgit GrabFood voucher. All right, before we begin, there are a few quick housekeeping matters to take note of. I'm sure as of now, all of us are already used to webinars and online events. As much as we strive to produce high quality online events, please be patient if you face any technical or internet connection glitches. For our Zoom viewers, if you have any questions for our speakers, for any of our speakers, please just post it in the Q&A section. If you have any question, please post it in the Q&A section. For viewers on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, please post it in the comment section. Our speakers will review and address your questions during the panel discussion later. As mentioned, there will be a short survey at the end of the program where you will stand a chance to you'll be rewarded with a 10 ringgit GrabFood voucher. And most importantly, please remember to engage, learn, and enjoy. All right, I'm sure you're as excited to kickstart the program as we are. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our opening keynote speaker. He has been in the technology industry for almost 2 decades. Stephen Low employs Lenovo's intelligent transformation philosophy to work with his team to drive smarter innovation by providing Lenovo services and solutions today so everyone can benefit from a better tomorrow. Hi, Stephen. Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours. Remember, you have 10 minutes.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks, Jesse, for the introduction. Let's go. Okay, from this slide, okay, later we'll see there's two rounding there, okay, from 9 to 6 and the 6 to 9. So which one do you prefer to work, right? If you can finish the job in 6 to 9, do you want to do it with 9 to 6? So that's how this presentation that later on we will tell you much more, how can you do it in your time. Next, please. Right. In, Gen Z, okay, definitely I'm not the Gen Z, okay, right? 59% of the workforce come from Gen Z, okay? They are tech savvy, they are tech native, and they're highly aware on those devices that want to use. So to enable these Gen Z people in your workplace, so what kind of a technology do they want to have? And most important is the time, right? By coming 2025, to all the business owner here, some IT managers or some users here, by 2025, 75% of this workforce will be Gen Z. So how could we adapt into it? Okay, go next. What's keeping them from giving their best? So sometimes they say, well, boss, I can't do this because the machine is slow, I can't crunch the data, it got crashed and so on. So ineffective technology is slowing them down and affecting their employee experience. So they wanted to do certain more outstanding things. They want to show you in presentation. What we do is like we present in this stagnant mode. They want to present in the 3D mode, but their machine, their computers is not allowing them to do so. So they will feel frustrated and inefficient in doing so. So in every year, 1.8 billion hours are wasted into this bad tax kind of environment. And nearly 40% of the millionaires feel that they're outdated, right? That is the things that we need to give them more energy. So this is the millennial. They want to feel more excited when they come to work, okay? They want to see, oh, I'm opening up my super machines that I can do 2D, 3D kind of a presentation to the bosses. So keep them, giving them the best things. Going next. Okay, what we call it right technology. I give you an example. Anyone of y'all still using VGA port or VGA maybe projector? So in our machine now all come with HDMI, right? So certain time when we come into presentation, we go to a customer place or certain place, we don't have this connector. We have to plug in a connector or connector to it to get it displayed. And what happened is the sound can't be produced out. So is it sometimes quite embarrassing when we have a VGA machine, the customer have a HDMI projector. How you're going to project all these things out? So in the statistics again, 38% of employee blame tech issues for major distraction. They can't connect, okay, they can't show, they can't present, and so on. And another statistic shows 77% SMB values and prioritize employee experience. So when I want to show you the things, I want to show the customers, okay, it's for your company. Like for the SMB or owners, is your employee is showing for your companies. So on behalf of your company. So what they're doing to have the machine have to be equipped with at least not two, what we call it, N-2 kind of a technology. Because now today's we are using USB-C. You still have the USB type A, which is the normal size, but nowadays the smaller one, USB-C, it can power up a lot of things. So is our machine with that? That we have to also check and to see what are those suitable technology for them. Of course, with the ThinkBook Plus that we show in this picture itself, it's a great machine. They can just get in some notes, okay, to show to the clients. It's cool, right? Okay, next. So get time on your side. Okay, like I said, you see the orange color from 6 to 9. Do you want to have your employee to spend 9 to 6 to finish their job? Or you give them a cool device, a smarter device that can make them 6 to 9 to finish the job? Okay, so this is your choice. And get the time on your side so that the employee experience is even better on that. So next. Enhance focus and productivity with Lenovo. Come, okay. I sell a little bit of Lenovo now, okay, to the what we are developing now today is smarter technology, where our machines is we're having like what we show in the photos here is the ThinkBook, where you can actually, when you do the collaboration, I touch a little bit also on the collaboration, means like you want to show something to your team members or you want to show something to your customer, you just flip it up like a tablet kind of a view to show them, well, this is what I mean, this is what I'm doing, and using what our devices is. Okay, to touch in both again, personal device. This device is not only personal, we are also working for working. So you have to get the correct device for them to increase their productivity. And the customer will be feeling, oh yeah, this is what I want to see, man. Especially when you are selling technologies. Okay. Right. So on for services, okay, we have premium support that are supporting where you have technical, you have a dedicated line that could call if there's any issue with the machine. That's where our services come in to help to the SMBs. Next. Personal device again, okay. 3 out of 4 employees are distracted with their works every 3 minutes. And look at the photo again on the right-hand side. You see that when you can turn one machine to become 2 when you have 2 screens. How many of you are using 2 screen, 3 screen now? I'm using 3 screen. Sometimes I will have a meeting that I need to listen and I need to do my email response as well. So if I have all this gadget around me, it can minimize the time to increase the device efficiency, and also I can stay focused into doing to complete my job. So I'm not a 6 to 9. Of course I have a lot of things to do, but I can focus and then shorten up my time to at least to enjoy my weekend. Okay, next. Collaboration solutions. So when you want to do something, you want to present. Okay, you want to present to the bosses, to the customer. What kind of machine that you wanted to do? How do you want to connect them in? How you want to display? Today the machine come with wireless display. Some of those projectors or even smart TV, you can just project it over when you want to do the presentation. So how can all these things happen if you have the old technology, right? Next. So services, again, if there's any failure on the machine, how are you going to get it resolved? So premium support is one of those things that we can help you. Okay, going next. Time is limited. Okay, your productivity and the employee experience is have to be there to help you to get your productivity to be better. So on the right hand side, first I will introduce a ThinkBook, okay, where you can have more flexible ways of using a technology. The following product is a smart hub from us. It's a for a meeting to be used. It can call it's a smart hub. It can connect all your devices, okay, just by hooking up into this smart hub on like the bottom with the photos is like what I'm doing, okay, with two screen. That's where I get my works done, and sometimes I just need to view into certain pages as a reference. This is how I do it. Okay, going next. Okay, with that I end my presentation. Okay, thank you. Back to you, Jesse.
All right. Thank you, Steven, for such an insightful keynote. If you have enjoyed Steven's presentation, we have more for you as our next speaker will share about Lenovo device intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the software senior manager of Lenovo Asia Pacific, Chun Chong Lee. Chong Lee, whenever you're ready, the floor is yours. Gentle reminder that you have 10 minutes. Over to you.
All right, thanks, Jesse. Yep. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join our session today. I'd like to introduce to you our Lenovo Device Intelligence solution. Right, next. So today, I think that all the IT teams, right, they have the dilemma in terms of management, right? You have a large fleet of devices you want to manage, and especially with COVID these days, a lot of folks, employees as well, they are all working from home, working from everywhere. Even in your office, to get them to come into service, that itself is challenging, right? But with the COVID and the mobility and all, I think it becomes an even more urgent issue, right? And our survey says, about 93% of the IT leaders, that's really the top of their mind, right? They want to automate as much as possible this kind of a support task so that their IT teams can focus on more strategic uh, tasks. Okay, next. So just a quick highlight, what kind of dilemma we're talking about. So employees, you want to be able to use your system well, right? No crashes, no system issue, application issue, and worst case is definitely you don't want to, not be able to turn on your laptop, right? So that's from the employee perspective. But for IT wise, being able to manage this large fleet of devices, desktop, laptop, tablet, that itself is quite complex, right? And also, I'm sure most of the IT teams, you all have very robust inventory list, right? Data about whatever system you are using. But the thing is, shifting through all those data, right, is a very manual and tedious task. Right? It takes a long time to try to identify the issue. And what we see in the market is there's very, very few tools that you can use, to analyze this kind of information at a large scale. So next. So here where LDI come in, the Lenovo Device Intelligence. It's a cloud-based solution. There's an artificial intelligence engine residing in the cloud, which is doing the advanced predictive analysis and the proactive device analysis. What it does is really monitor your entire fleet, right? There's a dashboard that you will get to see all your devices, the status update. And then, of course, we also highlight and predict the issues that potential failures that might occur across your fleet. And then, of course, for all these potential issues, we offer proactive insight and recommendation on how you can fix those issues. And of course, last but not least, because it's cloud-based, we do have, I think security is definitely top concern, but we do have multi-layer security implemented in our solution. So the data is encrypted, the communication to the cloud is encrypted, so we have multiple layers of encryption. So next. So just a highlight on some of the issue that we track with these two, right? Hardware issue, mainly hard disk, solid state drive, batteries. We track blue screens, BSODs. We track any application, performance issue. And based in our own lab testing, right, we see that our LDI, the AI engine, has 85% accuracy in predicting the BSOD issues before they happen. Okay, next. So just highlight again, right? There's two part of the AI engine, right? There's the proactive analysis and then the predictive. So proactive means for issues that occurred, so the AI engine will continue to monitor it, make sure, and highlight to you if they predict that it will occur again. Predictive analysis is where the system may be a new system, no issue has been found before, but based on the trend, the usage, we predict the device may fail. So we also highlight that to the IT teams. So next. So from what we've seen, I think McKinsey has done a survey as well, independent survey in 2017. They see that this type of predictive analytic tools help achieve with about 40% reduction in IT costs and about 50% in device downtime. So I think if you can, plan ahead, it definitely help you with the maintenance cost and device downtime. The next. So what are the components of LDI? So really simple, just three. So there's a web console. That's where the IT administrator can log in to manage all the devices and see the status. And then there's a cloud. We leverage on the AWS network, right? And then we have customer accounts stored in the data center. But all this data is isolated, right? So customer A cannot see data from customer B. So there is a security implementation there. And of course, in order to collect all those data, we need the on-device agent. You just need to install the agent. It's really simple, not much configuration, and the agent don't pop up. You don't have to do much. You just install, and once you start reporting data, that's it. You can start to manage your fleet. So next. So real quick one, just to highlight, how does Lenovo stand out, right? So as I mentioned, we have about 25 years of experience of building PCs. And more importantly, the artificial intelligence engine that I mentioned about is actually an internally developed solution. So we have data scientists in the States who are actively looking on how to improve the algorithm and improving the engine. And of course, the AI piece will do all the analysis and bring you the analytics. We can do this at scope. Just FYI, we don't have a minimum. Definitely do not have a maximum. You can on board, track 1,000, 10,000 units, no issue. We do recommend minimum 200, just so that we gather enough data to train the AI. But otherwise, there's no limit. And as I mentioned before, on the recommended fixes, for all the issue that we find, we do recommend try and tested solutions to the IT team to try out. And for industry reach, actually what this refers to is actually this solution don't only apply to Lenovo ThinkPads. It will run on any OEM devices that runs on Windows 10 and Intel or AMD processors. So that's the only two requirement. So, if you want, you can manage, Dell, HP, Huawei, Acer, Asus kind of devices. So there's no limitation to that. And if you need to, the tool itself, you can raise a e-support ticket. We have a support team in Malaysia who can help you with all the related issues. And then the extensive roadmap, right? This is a new tool for us, so we would like to hear from you if you sign on board. Okay, next. Yeah, so let me do a quick demo. I just wanted to show you that the site is live. It's not we're not just showing PowerPoint today. So this is the website, how it looks like. Hang on a second. Okay, so very good. I see login attempt time up. So there is a token here. So this website is actually secured, right? I just want to demonstrate that. So it's not just, as I mentioned, right, we have multi-layers of security implemented. Yep. So this is the website. Just give you a quick overview, right? I'm an IT administrator. I can see the dashboard. These are all the status, a quick summary, a quick overall health score. If I have blue screen of death, it will report here what are the issue. Here is where I report the application issues, battery status issues, storage issues. I can look at the dashboard and click on it and see what's wrong, or I can go to the sidebar and look at, for example, app performance issue. I can see which unit has what kind of apps. So Chrome here, if I click on it, see, so this is the remediation I told you about, right? We recommend some actions that IT can take. And in case you can't solve the problem, you can raise this IT ticket, right? Just quick overview on the battery side. So we have all these KPIs for you to check. You can see whether it's because of low performance, because of charge deviation. Storage wise, we can show you how much of the hard disk is used, whether we think the hard disk is going to fail. So all this will highlight again, just show you again, we have remediation for the issue that we detected, right? And of course, we also look at other device level driver issue, right? For example, this printer seems like the device not configured properly, so we give you some recommended action. And you can onboard devices here. And then real quick one, this is how you add devices to your portal. And then if you need to, of course, you need to assign IT administrator, and this is where you assign IT administrators. And of course, in case you do have raise support ticketing, this is where you check the status and see, for example, I raised this ticket. I actually just go to our Lenovo support site and you can see what's the status. So this is a quick overview. I just wanted to show you this is a live solution. Right? It's ready today. Back to you, JC. So real quick one, we do have a try and buy program for 60 days. You get the full featured solution to try out. Some of the requirement, I won't spend too much time, but just reach out to your local Lenovo sales. They will get you on board. Next. Yeah, so just saying again, repeating what I just said, right? We have this on for Asia Pacific. We do have pricing. Just reach out to your local team, and in case you need to, just look at that link right below to find out more. So back to you, JC.
Right. Thank you, Chong Li, for such an insightful sharing. Most importantly, thank you for being so prompt. All right, guys, we have come to the panel discussion session. I'd like to firstly introduce our guest panelist of this session. He is our special guest. He has over 20 years of experience that spans the domains of entrepreneurship, education, healthcare, technology management, and organizational capability development. Muhundan Kamarapulai, or Muhu, leads the digital adoption ecosystem team at the Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, or as we all know as MDEC, which spearheads the growth of domestic landscape, eventually helping more Malaysian businesses embrace digital adoptions and innovation. Then I would like to also introduce our panel moderator. In November 2019, he was named by International Data Group as one of South Asia's 50 most innovative technology leaders. Most recently, he was once again named by IDG as one of South Asia 50 senior tech leaders driving innovation, strengthening resiliency, and influencing rapid change in 2020. He's none other than my dear Kang Yuchin, Star Media Group Chief Operating Officer of Digital and Print, who leads the operations and 4 departments, namely technology, analytics, circulation, and production. Rejoining the panel discussion are Stephen Loh from Lenovo Malaysia and Chong Li of Lenovo Asia Pacific. Before we begin, just a gentle reminder for our Zoom viewers, if you have any questions for our panel of speakers, please post it in the Q&A section. For viewers on Facebook and YouTube, please post it in the comment section. All right, gents, when you're ready, the floor is yours.
Okay, everybody, welcome. I think I'm quite honored to share and be able to moderate this panel discussion. So, I sat through the last few minutes and I heard the good stuff from Stephen about your laptop. So I'm going to ask Stephen, when are you going to give me, whenever you're going to loan me one unit to test the flipping back and forth and all that kind of stuff.
Sure. We'll arrange for that.
And Chong Li, it's actually quite interesting. So I was listening to your talk about device intelligence. So actually that's quite interesting because when we run IT, one of the biggest issues we always complain about is, alamak, always not enough resources, and how do we go and troubleshoot stuff? So I guess device intelligence is something quite interesting because it's your first level, I guess, analytics to probably try and troubleshoot, right? So if you have a limited amount of IT resources, then you have a first line of defense or first line of troubleshooting. So I thought that was actually quite interesting. Huh?
Yeah,
Good stuff. Okay. So in today's panel, I think we have a short, 30-minute discussion. I think the questions are actually quite interesting. So I'm going to pose the first question. And the first question I think is related to COVID-19 because we actually spent almost 1 year working from home, if you remember, right? March 18, our dear Prime Minister said, "Oh, you go and balik and don't come to work," right? So we were all stuck, and actually it's been quite a norm. So if you think about it, the sudden hit of COVID-19 was a big impact. I think not only for us who have to actually work from home, but even businesses, right? So I think the first question is quite interesting. From a business perspective, what are some of the crucial challenges that SMEs and SMBs have encountered? And hopefully we can get Muhu to give his viewpoint, especially from the government perspective, because he's from MDEC. So, so Muhu, you have the floor. Maybe give us your perspective in terms of this question.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Eugene. And a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is obviously, when you look at COVID-19, it's a pandemic and it's a global pandemic, right? And Malaysia is no exception. We've been impacted. It's a delicate balance between a health crisis as well as an economic impact crisis. And we can see that as many things has been done by the government. The government started off by looking at when, Eugene, as you rightly put it, when we were asked to go back home, and I guess we were asked to go back home and work from home, yeah. Just to let you know, work is still going on, right? But unfortunately, the whole landscape changed, and the government came out with the 6R plan, if you remember: resolve, resilient, restart, recovery, revitalize, and reform. And part of the restart and recovery today, we are in a number of initiatives were launched, such as Penjana. I'm sure you know about it, and later on was Permai. About close to 20% of our country's GDP has been put into this, yeah, just to combat this. And there were three things that we looked at. Number one is how can we combat the pandemic COVID-19? Second is how can we take care of the safety and welfare of Malaysians, all of us. That's the priority. And the third one is actually to help businesses continue their business. So business continuity was the third one. And these three things were delicately balanced, and you saw a lot of different kind of initiatives that came out. The last Permai, there were about 22 initiatives. 9 of it was actually for businesses, from wage subsidy, grant, and whatever not. And recently, there was a launch on My Digital, which was actually Malaysia's plan to accelerate all of this, right, to become more technologically advanced country or economy. Right under that, there were also a lot of things I looked at in terms of how we can help increase our skills, our digital skills for the Rakyat. Businesses, there were quite a lot of stuff that we looked at. Productivity, that was mentioned just now, 30% uplift for productivity, GDP contribution of digital economy up to about 22%, 22.6%. As of last year, or 2 years ago, 2019, we were at 19.1%. And there was about 70 billion, right, that was to be raised for digitalization. So why I bring this up is because when we look at the SMEs or SMBs, the biggest concern that they had since last year was actually, how do I continue my business, right? A couple of things has changed. Number one is, how do I communicate with my customer, my current customer and my future customer, right? Restaurants are closed, right? Your business is closed. So that was a major issue. Second is there's also a cash flow issue because your operational cost is still ongoing. You've got rental on, you still have to manage your vendors and all that. And thirdly, because of all this, obviously there's no revenue for you to bring in. So this is a major impact that we saw and the major challenges for the SMEs, right? And of course, to be able to tackle this, there are many different ways that are there. For example, from MDEC, we have launched several initiatives. If you go to our website, you can see there's one specifically focusing on how can we help you to bring you up onto the e-commerce platform, for example, right? Training and onboarding. So many of the SMBs today are looking at how do I leverage on digital? And one of the key things we say is that you first need to have presence on digital, right? And how do you do that? And one of the ways is, of course, by getting into the e-commerce platform, right? You don't have to spend a lot of money, but you need to have that presence. And then after that, there are ways that you can go through the digital adoption journey in terms of how you improve your front end, mid end, and back end office, right? And that's where all the different kinds of digital solutions that come into place. So we have that. We also have a program called 100 Go Digital, which actually focuses purely on hand holding. And that's the other thing that we learned. as you ask, what does SMB want? A lot of the SMEs actually would, because digital is so complex, where do I start? And therefore, hand-holding programs are crucial, where they can go through, for example, our 100 Go digital program, get hand-holding, understand where digital opportunities are. And then number 3 is that to be linked to the digital solution providers, right? Such as we have Lenovo and all the different kind of hardware and software digital solutions, right? And I think that's my conversation with a lot of SMBs has always been that. It's not that they don't want to get into the digital space, but again, it looks, the perception out there is that it's really complex. And how do we actually get into this breaking it down phase by phase approach? And that's where the government is spending a lot of time and money for SMBs. Yeah. Back to you, Eugene.
Okay, I think that's a fantastic overview. Stephen, I wanted to get your perspective. Same question in terms of COVID-19 pandemic. What is your view in terms of what are the challenges that SMEs and SMBs have encountered, and also maybe a perspective in terms of how is Lenovo working with the government to help out?
All right. First, when we have this hit into the especially the MCO one, okay. Actually, I receive a lot of calls from some partners, some CIOs, friends. Okay, they say, well, I have to move some of my workforce back to home. I can't ask them to carry PC back, right? So they are looking for the laptops and so on to do so. So that time is a little bit challenge for them also, where worldwide also having constraint on some IC chips, and there was a really bad time where the SMB and SMBs actually is fighting against the education as well. So a lot of children need to use gadget to the school. So when you go to any of the mall, I think probably it will be running out of stocks. Okay, that will be one thing. And also, what would they want to buy? They also don't have in mind what would really suitable for them. So what we have in Lenovo is we have according to what Abu said, we actually launched our e-commerce. We have our e-commerce platform that not only basic e-commerce where we also have people helping you to configure. We will ask you what you are using it for. Okay, what's the because some of those like machine you need crunching data. You might need a higher RAM, SSD, or graphic cards, kind of things there. And some of those that might need a bigger screen. Okay, then we will configure accordingly on those. PC and PC maker like us is very simple. Okay, we just sell what you want. But in the moving to help a little bit into SMB is to help them also to understand what they need. And by doing so, also our R&D center is looking into more easier way for this group of people to help them, some of those that can help you to sell nasi lemak, okay, help to how to do all these things. So that are those as a technology, but because we are the user as well, we are not only a producer. We ourselves use laptop day in, day out to do that. And if you happen to see in our advertisement, security is part of it as well. Okay, how you going to secure your laptop and so on. So we cannot just like, hey, I just sell you anything. Okay, then you can take it and you can run your business and so on. This is not the way to go. We have to explain furthermore on what those are support, especially after sales support that might have some LDI inside there that can help you to monitor. Because those people who buy, most of it is like owner. They are not an IT guy, you know. They just say, they want to give me a 3,005 ringgit. My budget is 3,500. That's what I want to do to get a notebook. Well, what do you want to do it for? So it's a furthermore explanation. E-commerce is one of the platform that we provide our sellers, okay, our experts for the e-commerce to explain to you all further what actually that you can have, and also some of those things that you might need in this pandemic, especially to continue the business. Back to you, Eugene.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think the fact that you are adding some value-added service and even some advice. As we all know, SMEs are really the heart of the business in our country. But sometimes SMEs don't have the necessary skill or the IT know-how because they're generally quite small, right? So they're not big companies, right? And big companies who have a big IT team supporting them and advising them. So the fact that Lenovo is playing its part and not just selling hardware, but even giving advice, I think that's a really good thing that you're doing for the industry. Okay. So moving on, there's for the next question, there's this new buzzword, right? Well, actually, this buzzword has been around for quite a while, and this buzzword is digital transformation. Okay, especially you have all heard about the fact that MCO or even the pandemic has sped up digital transformation, right? We've done maybe 2, 3, or 4 years of work within 2, 3 months, right? So that comes to my next question. What is this digital transformation? Why is it essential, especially for SME business growth? And what is the importance of technology when it comes to digital transformation? So I'll ask Muhu to give his views first, because it will be great to find out how MDEC views that, especially since MDEC is also helping SMEs a lot in terms of digital transformation. So you have to share.
It's me again.
Okay. Yeah, we love to hear your point of view. Always good to start off with industry view rather than the vendor view, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Digital transformation, as you rightly put it, is a buzzword. And I think people are just fed up of listening to this word, right? It's been the word since MCO. Digital adoption, digital transformation. And because I am usually on the ground speaking with SMEs, and I find that this word is just very daunting. May not even make sense to a lot of businesses, right? Because to businesses, digital or technology rather is just an enabler, right? It helps me to do my things. That's it, right? And I can do it in many ways. Some even think that I don't need it because I can do manually, and I've got a lot of people working for me, right? I've got a lot of foreign workers, for example. So why do I need digital? But that mindset is changing now drastically. And why, I can tell you, is primarily because businesses realize that today, technology, which used to be seen as a very vertical, today is seen as horizontal. It means today it impacts in everything that you do, right? From the way you touch your customer, to the way you manage your vendor, the way you take care of your products and services, your warehousing, right up to your employee. Right, Riley put it just now, right? That employees need to be taken care because not everyone is digitally savvy. So digital transformation today, to me, right, it's very simple. It does 3 things for you. From a business standpoint, right? From technology, there's a lot of stuff we can talk about, very big words and all that we can put in. But for businesses, what does it mean? It makes whatever you are doing, your business, to be faster, cheaper, and better, right? Either one of these or all 3, faster, cheaper, and better. So the impact, if you ask me, is, can I improve my productivity, right? If I'm doing certain things, which takes me 5 days, can I do it in 2 days, right? So productivity, again, sometimes can be a big jargon as well. Forget about all the calculations and all that, right? That's the thinking, right? If I'm doing it 5 days, can I do it in 2 days today? That's one, right? I can do things faster. From a product standpoint, now if I go on e-commerce, for example, can I make my products cheaper, right? In terms of the cost, in terms of the marketing cost, in terms of how I'm pushing this product. And the last one, better, is in terms of the quality, right? In terms of, can I collaborate, for example, with technology companies to improve my product? I may be just selling, simple food, right? Char kway teow or whatever not, but can I work with e-wallets, for example, right? E-wallet companies. Can I work with the point of sales companies or even Lenovo in terms of making my product into the digital space? I've got a great story. If you can just Google Kazaina from Langkawi, plain and simple. She was just selling satay, her father's business, where he was actually in a pasar malam. But what the father did fantastic was he also created a small factory just behind their house to produce satay. And this satay was actually sent to all the main hotels in Langkawi. Yeah? The top hotels actually take from them. So don't be fooled thinking that the hotel's actually making your satay. Probably you know that. And the best part is that just before pandemic, when we worked with her on a project, she had 2 problems. Number one was she said, look, I cannot trust my people because the money is not always balanced. Number 2 is that in terms of, I have to bring all this money all the way to the bank. I'm going to lose a lot of time. I don't have the people. So by introducing a simple POS system connecting them to e-wallet, when the pandemic happened, when everybody else couldn't run their business, our friend was actually making more, 80% increase. Why? Because the e-wallet guys were selling it for her, right? So 2 in 1, she got free marketing. Second is that transparency, because money now she doesn't have to transfer. She can trust her stuff better because everything is connected, right? So I think that's the impact that I'm talking about. If the faster, cheaper, and better. Back to you.
Well, after your explanation, I suddenly feel the urge to go and makan satay. Okay, Chong Li, I saw Steven as a hardware guy, but I see you as a software guy. So same question, but I wanted a software view in terms of what do you think software's role and importance in terms of helping in digital transformation. Maybe you can give a perspective from a software perspective.
Sure. I think software, you can see as it has to be part of the solution, right? It's not just you can't think of software and hardware separately, right? It's a solution like just what Muhu just mentioned, right? POS, there's a hardware piece, there's a software as well. Same as what we're doing with LDI today, right? So LDI really helps you to manage your fleet. And of course, we don't want it to be just another tool like Excel, you manually do all the work. That's where the AI engine comes in. And I think the cloud itself is also important because, besides thinking of your employees who are not working in the office, what about your IT administrator, right? They are probably not in the office too. And for every issue, you ask them to come back to office because, you need a secure network. I think that is the old school, right? I think the pandemic has helped to speed up that transition, right? I think we need to have people to be more mobile. They should be able to access and do what they need from anywhere, but do it in a secure manner. And I think, and you have to find a trusted partner, right? A trusted partner who can provide you the hardware and the software, the entire solution with security, right? I think software piece is part of that. It is important, but we have to match it all up together to provide a complete solution.
Okay, good stuff. At least now we know, the importance that software plays a part. I mean, even from my perspective, I work in the Star. We've been using a lot of software, and I think you mentioned things like cloud and AI. Yeah, with all our digital stuff is in the cloud. And actually during MCO, we also dabbled in a little bit of AI. So we got this app, right? So if you don't know, we've got this Quali app, right? And it's got this computer vision recognition, right? So remember during the early days of MCO, then all those head of household have to go to and go and buy groceries, right? Then we all guys, we had go out there, we try to figure out what vegetable is this, right? So we had that recognition in the app that tells us whether this is cabbage or this is patai.
Recommend me earlier on this one. I buy different type of cabbage.
Then after that, kena marah, right, from the wife or the girlfriend. Okay, I want to move on to the third question, and so the third question is actually quite interesting. But since Muhu said he always kena arrow and always had to answer first, so I'm going to ask Steven to be the first guy to give his view. So we've talked about digital transformation. We talked about how the pandemic has affected us. So now we're trying to put some crystal ball thinking and do some projection. So there's no right or wrong answer, right? But what do you think, or what do you foresee about the SME trend in this year, 2021, and maybe 1 or 2 years time? And what takeaways would you like our audience to take away from this session, right? So it's a bit of crystal ball and doing some prediction. So Steven, you can give us your viewpoint.
I give it a crystal ball, yeah. So the SMB trend from a technologies angle that we are looking at 2 years down the road will be uptrend. Okay, in a way, why we say it uptrend? Because even technology partner like us is coming as solutions to the partners. We have one of those solutions that we work together with telcos, where we embed actually our tablets with a POS system, a mini POS system, so that they can get the SMBs to be using the POS system like what Mo said just now. With the POS system, then you have more data input inside there. We are also seeing there's a lot of usage of data nowadays from not only from the SMBs, but also from the Conglo side and so on. So when you need this, what do you need? Do you need digital devices? Do you need smart devices? So those where we come in the part to help. We have ranges below 1,000 ringgit, you can get a tablet, okay? Up to the, you can get some crunching machine up to like 100 over thousands to get a workstation that can crunch data, can do machine learning, can do AI for you all. So it's the solutions that we are seeing that are ongoing, even from the SMB side. There's a lot of startup actually that also doing, especially moving into like IoTs, okay? They are moving into that to create some solutions to be selling to their clients, okay? To maybe to do some advancement into like what they're touching into digital transformation. So digital transformation, the first need of it, of course, the jargon word digital transformation, everyone tend to be digital. They say, I'm digital, I'm using electricity. They say I'm digital, okay. I'm using computer, I'm digital. It's not that kind of just as simple as that, but a solution.
It's more than that lah.
It's more than that, right? So the solution that we come in, like what we have, you see, we have Chong Li here, although Lenovo is known to be a hardware, but now in our tagline, even our tagline, smarter technology for all. What we are developing in the future is more towards smarter technologies. So all those, what kind of things are easier to use, how to help you into business. You wouldn't want to see, hey, just you get a computer, but this one cannot, that one cannot, this one cannot do one. So they don't help you into your business. So part of the things that transform in the coming 2 years, what we're seeing is there are more adoption, especially it get actually accelerated during MCO. Accelerated during this pandemic time. You can see a lot of users of computers coming up in. Even my parents know how to look for news and those kind of, they ask me, hey, go and buy here. How do you know how to use this? My kids put all her wish list of the shopping there, and by shopping into the online shopping, they will put, this is the wish list I want to buy. So you click. I say, how to click? Or then they'll show. So even the Gen Z, they know how to use it. Don't imagine how SMB going to tackle these people. Like what we show in the presentation, by 2025, 75% is Gen Z people. You still ask them to look at catalog? I think a little bit outdated during that time. So these 2 years and the coming 5 years, it will be up. We need to try to adapt into it to see how the things work and evolve. This is how we need to do really for the other SMBs. And as a Lenovo, we will just try to help.
Thanks, Stephen. That's a great answer. So I'm curious to see what Muhu's view is. Whether it's uptrend or downtrend or sideways trend. So Muhu, your views, Muhu, on SME trend?
Yeah, sure. I agree with Stephen. It is an uptrend, right, for sure. And I think this is the dynamics are changing. It's something that SMEs would need to understand. It's no longer perhaps from a digital. Digital has been accelerated, right? It's no longer maybe just a simple trend, but the uptrend could be like a hockey stick, for example. So what does that mean for SMEs in the next 1 to 2 years? You need to be resilient. You need to be able to quickly embrace digital. You don't have to just change overnight everything that you have, but you have to start exploring. Right? Typically what I will say is that this is a simple joke that I will share, may not be true, but if tomorrow Google wants to do what you want to do, they can, right? And they can do it much faster, better, and cheaper. So what does it, why would technology, companies stop doing what you're doing? So your competitors today are no longer just within your sector, but your competitors are also all the technology companies out there. We have seen it, right? Eugene, you know that in the media business, right? Media business has been disrupted for ages because of the technology startups. And then we saw banking, right? Today we are looking at manufacturing, healthcare, and many other sectors. So your sector, if it's not been disrupted, it's soon to be disrupted. So the best way is for you to understand how you can adopt digital, one. Second is also find ways to collaborate with the digital companies, technology companies, right? They don't treat them as vendors, but treat them as partners. I think that's the fastest way, and that's going to help you in terms of embracing yourself to the trend that's going to happen in 1 or 2 years. Back to you, Eugene.
Okay, so I think great discussion, and I was just looking at the Q&A panel, or rather the Q&A section. I think there's a bunch of interesting questions. So you have a couple of minutes, maybe I'd like to, select some questions from the audience. I thought this is a good one, right? So, and maybe Chong Li, you can give us your viewpoint, right? This question basically says the market is flooded with SMB focused technologies. Okay, and since the market is so flooded with all these technologies, it might lead to distraction to the business. So what are your thoughts on what elements that SMBs should consider when it comes to choosing the right technology? So it's a bit open-ended question, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So, your views?
Yep. Okay. Sure. There's a bit of echo. Okay, great. So I think two things, right? So first off, automation. I think anything that helps your work, I think that's your first focus, right? You want automation. But I think traditional automation, your IT team probably have to set up a lot of things to like some kind of running some script or something. So but then also that becomes a traditional type of automation. So I think that's why artificial intelligence is the right way to go. If you can offload some of this work to AI, I think that will help you, right? And of course, and I understand that I'm sure a lot of vendors approach SMB partners segment to promote their stuff. The other thing you could try, which is what we have as well, is try and buy, right? Don't just look at the slide and say, oh, I think it's good. Just try it out for yourself. And of course, discuss with the partners, right? Whoever approach you, and see who actually can able to provide you with the better support as well. So I would say AI is a way to go, right? To automate some of this stuff and to and if you want to think about who is the right partner to go, see if you can do like a try and buy with them. Otherwise, that's how right? That's how you can test out whether whatever they propose will work for you.
Okay, good stuff. I was going to take another question. Now, this question is actually from the Q&A box. Actually, Muhu has already answered it, but I thought it's a great question that maybe it's worthwhile just talking about it, since we should try and help out our SMBs and SMEs as much as we can. So the question is actually from Z Jin Yong, and his question was, my company finds it very difficult to identify the right vendor to develop competitive marketplace platform, right? Or it can be an open-ended question, basically. My company finds it very difficult to find good vendors, so is there a way MDEC could actually help out, right? And I think Muhu did answer. Basically, the question is there any way MDEC could help SMEs to find the right vendors, So maybe Muhu, you can just give us a quick update in terms of how MDEC can help SMEs find the right vendors.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Eugene. So yes, I do agree. I think I did bring up just now that one of the hardest thing for SME is that because technology looks so complex, so who do I work with, right? And there's so many out there, absolutely right. And so from MDEC perspective, we realized this in the beginning when we started working on a special grant by the government called the SME Business Digitalization Grant. This grant is owned by BSN actually, so they've been dispersing it. But MDEC's role has been, because we are in the digital space, so our role basically is to provide advisory. And one of the things that we did was actually, we looked at who are the technology solution providers out there whom are SME friendly. So then we opened the application, and we had a specific criteria that we put in, just to make sure that from their capability standpoint, their outreach standpoint, where they are, as well as whether they have worked with SMEs. So we asked them samples of clients and the work they've done. And we've got about under 7 digitalization areas today. So that's why I asked the person to look at the website. And also we've got about more than 400 technology solution providers out there, and it's upcoming. The numbers are growing. And this year we're looking at adding 2 more areas. One is cybersecurity, and the other one is actually in big data analytics. So we think these are the critical things. So the short answer to that is, you definitely need some kind of benchmark, right? When you are having conversation with technology solution providers. Number one is always look at the kind of customers they've worked with. Number 2 is also to see, in terms of how are they looking at the business, whether they're looking at it from a collaborative standpoint, or is it just pure vendor relationship. So the collaborative standpoint is really important today, because you're getting into something that you have no idea, but you're not just buying another stuff, right? But here you're getting into something that you're trying to figure out. So have a partner rather than just a vendor to support you. And for marketplace, the question, I think we need more information. You can always come back to us through the organizer. We need to understand, because marketplaces have changed drastically since 2008. Today, you probably don't have to build one and you can leverage on many. Yeah. So back to you, Eugene.
Okay, great answer. But so basically, I think we have what 100 over participants, 121 participants. So, you know, if I assume 80-90% of you guys are from SMEs, so I thought that was a great question. So just to basically summarize, if you really need help from an SME perspective, you need to know what vendors and all that. Actually, I have gone myself into the MDEC website. So the MDEC website is actually quite interesting, right? So do go and check out the MDEC website. Great bunch of information in there. So I think we're done with the panel. I think most of the important questions are answered. So I'm going to turn it over back to JC. Over to you, JC. So thanks to everyone who participated. Thanks, Muhu, Chanli, and Stephen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eugene.
Thanks, Eugene.
All right. Thank you, Eugene, Muhu, Stephen, and Chong Li for such a productive discussion session. We are definitely very humble and honored with your participation. And of course, thanks to those who sent in your questions as well. And thanks for staying with us till now. We're almost coming to an end, and we hope you have enjoyed and benefited from this webinar. We have one final request from you, that is to share your thoughts with us about today's webinar by completing a very short survey. To complete the short survey, you just need to scan the QR code that is currently on the screen right now, or you can go to bit.ly/Lenovo feedback, bit.ly/Lenovo feedback. We will be rewarding each survey completion with a 10 ringgit Grab food voucher that will be emailed to you within 3 to 5 working days. You hear me? Just a very short survey, help us to complete it, and you will be rewarded with a 10 ringgit Grab food voucher, and we'll be emailing that to you within 3 to 5 working days. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Star Media Group, I'd like to thank each one of you for being with us throughout the program. And I also like to thank our partner, Lenovo, for coming with us to make this live webinar a success. If you need any further assistance from us, do reach out to us at events@thestar.com.my. Once again, thank you, and we look to host you again at the next event. Till then, stay safe, stay innovative, and stay disruptive.